Here in Phoenix for the Good Ranchers 250, we are green, we are racing, and immediately Newgarden attempted to go round the outside of his teammate. It's close as we go 3, 4 wide, into 1, into 2, but Malukas carries the pace, keeps the lead.
Oh, you could see that Newgarden was hanging back on the start, thought he was going to jump his young teammate, but Malukas was having none of it with a great gap to start things off. Meanwhile, Alexander Rossi right up there to third, looking really good in the opening lap.
And if Rossi's had a good start, keep your eyes on the champion. There he goes around the outside, making up another position. A brilliant start for the champion. Now on the back of Graham Rahal as Mick Schumacher fights to keep a hold of his place and is falling back.
James, we weren't sure what the Highline look was going to look like, but it is working really well.
And not from the guy you'd most expect it to. Alex Palou just passed Graham Rahal, now up into P4. He started 10th, guys. He's on an absolute charge. He wants to keep that 100% win streak on the season going.
Astonishing start from the champion, but Malukas is stretching his legs out front, moving to Penske this season. A pole on just his second race for the captain, Roger Penske. He loves a short oval as we go 2 wide. Scott Dixon making the pass, and up and underneath Dennis Hauger having a look there, the rookie.
Dixon saying, kid, that's not how we do it here. You got to learn your piece here. You got to mind your P's and Q's early in the laps, as we saw 3 wide developing behind this train here.
And Dennis Hauger there down on the apron as Dixon gave him a little fade on the backstretch. And now here comes Will Power to the high side.
Wow, wonderful move from Power, but look at the gap already for David Malukas. We ride on board now with Will Power. A difficult start to his relationship. That is all too easy around Nolan Siegel. Difficult start in St. Pete for him and the Andretti partnership. A difficult continuation here this weekend with a crash in qualifying. Oh my goodness, and he's going high, looking around his teammate Marcus Ericsson. If there is one driver who knows how to fight his way through on a short oval, it is Will Power. This is precisely one of the reasons that Andretti wanted him in one of their cars, was to bring them that pace on short ovals.
Still clear by 5, that's Marcus ahead of you.
You see Ericsson there trying to get some clean air from the car in front, but that's leaving the bottom of the racetrack open for Power now, who's got a great run off of 4, trying to line up the 28. Is he going to go high? He committed early. Look at Ericsson just chilling up there in that kind of 1.5 lane there, T-Bell.
We weren't really sure what that second lane was going to look like, and I'm really pleased to see everybody starting to experiment there. Now we see them start to slot a little bit more single file as Power works the low side to Ericsson here.
And you know what, guys? I love the fact that it's not easy for Power to just go through on the bottom. For me, Ericsson's doing the right thing here. He might be losing a couple places, a little bit of track position early, but he's getting those laps, getting that experience up in that high lane, which is going to be so important later in this stint and later in this race.
I'm still recovering from the fact that our surgically precise Alex Palou, who's known for making high percentage decisions, just went absolutely big time on the start, threw caution to the wind and went to the high side to great effect. That bravery really paid off, up 6 spots.
And guys, can we just have a word for Rinus VeeKay, who has moved over to Junkos Hollinger Racing, is currently running 5th behind Alex Palou. A brilliant start for the Dutchman. Such a racy driver. And that is Dennis Hauger fighting with Christian Rasmussen. Rasmussen, who we know is such a joyous watch on a short oval, but we also know is the driver that was voted by his fellow IndyCar drivers as the one they would give the widest berth to. Oh my goodness! And that is Hauger.
You're clear. Going to be yellow behind you.
Oh my goodness. Keep it straight, kid.
Did he keep it out of the wall?
He did.
I think
Get on the brakes.
Yep. Oh boy.
Goodness me.
J-turn.
Unbelievable.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible.
I don't think I've ever seen that before in an IndyCar. That was wild.
That is control. From out of control to back in control, Dennis Hauger, the Norwegian nightmare, the Indy Next champion, somehow keeps it out of the wall. And he goes, and Newgarden follows. We are green and back to racing ways as VeeKay comes under immediate pressure from Graham Rahal, who takes the low line, and McLaughlin will aim to follow him through. Wonderful restart from Graham Rahal, makes up 1 place on Rinus VeeKay.
Joey, is it weird seeing a restart where they're not taking the dogleg shortcut?
Rahal goes for Palou. Oh, wonderful restart. And now VeeKay wants to take advantage and will run wheel to wheel with the champion, and there's contact. Wow, that is the champion into the wall. And Rinus VeeKay has damage as well. And that is huge for the season, for the champion, critically, for everybody else in this series. Alex Palou, having led this championship for over 620 days, is out of this race.
Out of the race and very likely to lose that championship lead. Well, that you talked about, he's held it since June 2024. Barry Wanzer on the 10 stand looks on in disbelief. And so here's the move. You said it. Rahal makes the move down the inside. You see the blue and white car behind him, the 76 of VeeKay. Great execution from Graham. And now Rinus tries to roll the high side. Doesn't quite have enough momentum to get all the way alongside. So right now it's a battle of the spotters. Are they telling him clear? But at this point, Townsend,
VeeKay's got to back off.
You got to back off.
You know the flow of the racing line. Everybody's going to walk up towards the wall. And to your point, James, he just never had the run even close to done there. Now, Joey, you come from the NASCAR world where your spotter would typically say outside, outside, and you guys typically leave a lane. We are more, you know, got to be alongside to really own that spot. I think at that point, just running out of road, VeeKay just wasn't going to have a run coming off of turn 4 to make that work.
Yeah, that's different kind of racing to me. Like, I would look at it and say, Palou, there's a car out there. You need to give space. It's just a different way of racing, apparently. But I thought it was a good run to get to the top side right there and take advantage of any opportunity you can to move forward in this air that they're dealing with.
Malukas is out front, takes us back to green and does so with ease from his teammate Joseph Newgarden. Alexander Rossi right on the Penske driver's wing as McLaughlin has a look at Rahal. Up the inside of him, takes the low line. Rahal, though, with great pace on the higher line, maintains that 4th position. But Penske looking in dominant form here today with a rapid race car under each of their drivers. As Rasmussen defends from Louis Foster and 3 wide Dixon high.
That is a big move from Dixon, and he's not done yet. He's got that momentum, going to go try the outside of the JHR machine. Oh, sorry, that's the RLL. That's Louis Foster.
Good
Man,
right there.
Big move there up in lane 3.
And ahead of him, Rasmussen and Power scrapping over the same piece of track. Rasmussen no way through, and Power takes advantage. We ride on board with him. That is Nolan Siegel in the McLaren. Had a great qualifying up in the top 10. But Power, the man on the move from the start of this race, from a 25th place start, up 12 places to 13th.
Joey, I think this is one of the best Phoenix races I've seen early on, and I think NASCAR has a lot to do with it because of your practice, how fanned out you guys are. There's rubber everywhere, and the drivers are taking advantage of it.
Yes, we did widen it up. And remember, these guys have new tires, too, so they're trying to take advantage of that newer tire to get the grip and pass as many cars as they can right now.
Siegel passes Stingray, Rob. Will Power will through as well. Very tight with Rasmussen. Unbelievably close. Power loses momentum. Dixon will take advantage. Down low on the inside. That's ever so close. Wonderful racing. Brilliant respect shown between those two multiple champions. They know each other only too well. And here comes Lundgaard.
It's amazing how much you can watch them battle for clean air back here. They're just in turbulent air no matter what lane they're in, but they're trying to figure out which lane's going to move forward, which one to follow, and not to get too close. You can see they're trying to keep a decent gap so they can keep some momentum through the corner.
First round of pit stops are underway. We've seen some up front, including Scott McLaughlin. Pot Award make a stop. Here is the leader, 24-year-old David Malukas from Chicago. His second race with Team Penske. He takes Shell 100% renewable fuel, new Firestones, and he's back out.
Keep an eye on Newgarden, who was P2. We keep an eye on Malukas as he leaves pit lane.
Newgarden side by side with his teammate Scott McLaughlin. They come down out of turn 4. It's going to be 3 Penskes into the corner.
And Newgarden has the momentum, goes side by side and wheel to wheel with his teammate, but Malukas just about has it in a touch. Newgarden around the outside, but I'm sure there was contact between the teammates.
He just had those few laps of heating the tires, had a bit more confidence there in 3 and 4. That was a great call from the 2 crew. They're so good at getting that done. That was 3 Penske's, almost 3 wide. Here's the touch. Maybe, yeah, definitely contact.
Malukas trying to fade up, and Joseph Newgarden say, no, buddy, I'm already in this lane.
Joseph Newgarden taking the Joey Logano approach of like, I'm not moving, I'm here.
Well, you see how close it is. Look at Newgarden just able to drive it in there and get to his outside. He knows this is his chance to take the lead. It's why they pitted a lap before Malukas, was to try to have that 1 lap of fresher tires and have that pace. The same thing McLaughlin did. He pitted a few laps before everybody to try to close the gap to the leaders.
But pitting before all of these guys was Pato O'Ward, who actually has now track position over the 3 Penske's. The undercut has worked out perfectly for the McLaren driver. And although it was the Penske's who led the way, it will be Pato who leads them all. Jack, Rasmussen's in.
He is in, and that was such an exciting stint for him. And as Townsend says, he is the Sultan of sketch. A full fill of Show 100% energy refill, and he's on.
Malukas trying to make his way back past his teammate. The duo now behind Mick Schumacher, who had a very slow stop for a stuck front right. Newgarden looking underneath him. And this is always the difficult thing. When you come across a driver who's never raced on an oval, you don't know what to expect out of him.
And there are blocking rules.
And here comes
Here comes Malukas.
Up on the inside of Newgarden.
Top of 3, top of 3.
They go both sides.
2. Bumper, clear.
Mick Schumacher not making any friends out there, guys, in his first oval race. Both those Penske drivers got caught out by some late reactionary moves from the 47. First, that gave the opportunity for Malukas to get by, but then he had to get around the 47. Newgarden took the place back, but this is where you really have to be strong, guys. You've got to be good in traffic. Malukas was fine out front in clean air. That's relatively easy. There's nobody in the business better than at navigating traffic on a short oval than Joseph Newgarden.
The gap was 2.5 seconds. It's inches now as Rasmussen is all over the back of the race leader, Pato O'Ward. We have seen this so many times, and he looks high now. Christian Rasmussen. Joey Logano almost jumps out of his skin, but that is the lead for Rasmussen. What a joy to watch him race on short ovals.
Somebody should remind this kid there's 145 laps to go in this thing. He had a huge advantage over Pato. He didn't have to make it look quite so sketch, but that's just what he loves to do.
Well, in fact, Bob Pockris interviewed all of the drivers and questioned them pre-season. Who is the person?
Nice and easy up to him, and then just take care of him.
Who is the driver?
Right there.
Who's the driver you're most worried to race against on track? Majority vote, Rasmussen. They said he was the one that they were most concerned about. As you see the vote there, the most sketch, James, Rasmussen took 13 votes over Grosjean.
Now, Joey, you've seen something with Christian Rasmussen passing drivers to take the lead. Now you're about to see something totally different, which is Christian Rasmussen lapping cars, because this guy does not hold back when he laps cars either. If anything, he takes even bigger risks. What do you make of what you're seeing out of this young man today?
Yeah, absolutely. You see it here again. He is wheeling the heck out of this thing. We talked about it before the race started off air, the guts to brain ratio. He's got a lot of guts on that side of it for sure. He is making some big moves. He's got a fast car, right? But he's taking advantage of that. And look at this move. He looks to the bottom. No, never mind. I'm going to go to the top. Look how close that wing was to the rear tire. That was almost the end of his race right there. Amazing. I love it.
Some drivers just take to oval racing, James. You just don't know what to expect. Rasmussen, a European background, he came up through the IndyCar ladder system, but he has taken to ovals in IndyCar like a duck to water.
We're back at Phoenix. Louis Foster, as you can see, that rear right, blue paint all over it. He's been up and into the wall. Let's get a replay of exactly what happened to the driver of the drop light 45.
Usually when we see that, Will, it means he's gotten up into the gray, and it looks like Louis Foster did just that. Kind of trapped up there. Maybe somebody made a late move or something coming through the field. And once you get into those marbles mid-stint, late in the race, no chance to hang on.
And Joey Logano, when we saw those yellow flags come out, the whole race go under caution, you said one phrase. A bunch of drivers just made bank. Those drivers, Dixon, Armstrong, who were on the alternate strategy.
Yeah, and I'm not sure the leaders will pit here or not, but even so, Dixon and those guys that that were on the other strategy, they're going to have newer tires at least. So they may go back towards the back of the pack, but they're going to have 15, 20 laps newer tires.
Well, into the pits comes our race leader. Rasmussen is in, Dixon is in, Armstrong is in. Joey, you called it.
Whoa. Huge surprise to see Rasmussen come in. Georgia.
The 2016 winner, Scott Dixon, is in. He took 4 tires in the Mike Cole told him he's doing better than anyone else at keeping the tires underneath him. Jack.
Well, Rossi's come in and there was nobody ready for him, and I don't know if he's got an issue or not. There's David Malukas. He gets away much better than last time.
Rossi looked like he had his tires changed, but some issue trying to leave.
With Kirkwood, it's Power second, it's Dixon third, it's Rasmussen fourth, then Armstrong, then O'Ward, then Newgarden, Ferrucci, Rosenquist, and Hauger, your top 10. Kirkwood takes us back to racing, and here comes Rasmussen once again on the inside of Dixon, wasting no time on the restart.
So he's down on that low side there, but he's got the dirty air from Power in front. Dixon on the high lines got that clean air, is able to keep the position.
Oh, Ferrucci on the move.
Top 2 drivers have used Firestones. This guy right here, Rasmussen and Dixon, they have Firestone Courage right now. Brand new tires with lots of grip. They got to put it to good use though right now.
Dixon trying to work that high line. It got sort of forced high a bit there by Power, and that's given him the opportunity, Rasmussen, to get along the inside of the 9. Can he make it stick this time down at 3 and 4?
Dixon holds it. Dixon holds it. No way. Oh, yeah, they touch!
That was a big enough touch. If I'm Scott, I'm worried about that left rear.
Absolutely. Left rear tire pressure. That end fence, carbon fiber front wing end fences can cut a tire very easily.
It was a tire coming off this car last week in St. Pete that put him out of the race. Let's take another look at the contact. You see that right front end fence, that left rear tire. Whoa, look at the deflection in the sidewall. That's not pretty.
Well, that's inches away from a front wing failure and inches away from a puncture.
Good thing he couldn't see that.
You ever take wood shop?
I wouldn't want to watch that replay.
You ever take wood shop in high school and work the lathe?
You got a little bit of that right there.
Our pole sitter is into pit lane. Penske then rolling the dice as soon as ECR did. He comes in. Let's see if it's a quick stop for him. He struggled on the getaway in an earlier stop today. Looks clean, looks good, gets away, nice stop.
This will be the fastest car on track, I'll bet. The next few laps, David Malukas will be trying to make that undercut work to good advantage while everybody's trying to hang on old tires.
Newgarden in, O'Ward in, Jack.
Pato is in. I did catch up again with Nick Snyder and just asked, Eddie seen any changes, and he still told me no fuel concern, they're just going to push as hard as they can.
O'Ward out ahead of Newgarden, and Rasmussen keeps it late but keeps it tiny, sweeps around the outside of Kyle Kirkwood.
Now don't you think if you're Kyle Kirkwood right now, you got to be thinking pit. Right now, the lead just got taken away. One of the fastest cars just passed you. Well, you got to come in.
His teammate is pitting. Will Power is into pit lane. So too Graham Rahal. We sit on board with Kirkwood. If he's going to pit in, he has to cut the line now. He does so. Down to 100. As he comes round the corner, we'll have to drop down again to hit the lower pit limit.
It makes sense. 58 laps to go. He went over 60 on this set here.
But Rasmussen leads once again. Georgia, Kyle Kirkwood's coming down to you.
Kyle Kirkwood on pit lane. Brian Herta told me that today was the most confident he's ever seen Kyle for an oval. He got his win on an oval, first win on an oval last year, 2025 at Gateway. He took 4 Firestones down and away.
Who made up the most positions that day in Gateway? It was Christian Rasmussen, 25th to 3rd. Will today be the day for Kirkwood? Will it be the day for Rasmussen? Can anybody get on terms with this man who is into pit lane and coming down to Jack Harvey?
Christian Rasmussen has been absolutely flying. He's doing things that we can't see anybody else making right now. Overall, this looks like a really smooth, clean start for everyone at ECR. Kevin.
Marcus Armstrong stays out a little bit longer than most. He makes his final stop well inside the window here. Takes a little bit longer than they wanted, and this is not going well. He takes an extra couple of seconds, and they're going to lose some track position.
Yeah, the nut fell out of the gun on the rear right, Kevin. Slow stop for Marcus Armstrong after all that hard work means rookie Dennis Hauger leads the race third on the grid for his first ever IndyCar race last weekend, finished in the top 10. And we should mention this because we haven't done yet. No rookies in the field last year finished in the top 10. Dennis Hauger did it on debut, the Indy Next champion, the Norwegian nightmare as we call him, with one of the greatest saves I think many of us have ever seen on an oval, spinning it around, keeping it out of the wall early in the race. He's now into pit lane.
Kirkwood on track here is chasing down his teammate. Power has jumped him in that sequence, as well as O'Ward. So right now it's Power, O'Ward, Kirkwood, Rasmussen, Newgarden of the drivers that have pitted.
Fastest lap of the race right now, just turned by Will Power at 164 miles an hour. As there you see Rasmussen just behind Kirkwood with that big old wiggle that has defined his short oval career. He is loose, but he's happy.
It doesn't even look sketchy anymore the way he drives it. But that one lap that Kirkwood pitted before Rasmussen, it was able to jump him back in front of him. Now Rasmussen has to go try to pass Kirkwood and the rest of them.
Yeah, and that's really a disaster for Rasmussen because they had the tire advantages. Power makes the move for the lead.
That is for the lead. Teammate on teammate. Will Power leads the race in just his second race for Andretti.
Now Ericsson is still going to have to make his last stop, but for Will Power, that absolutely puts him legitimately at the lead of this race after starting at the very back from a qualifying crash. Huge recovery for this guy.
Christian Rasmussen on Will Power. This will be for the lead. Ultimately could be for the win. No one has been able to keep Rasmussen at bay today. Such has been his drive, his determination, his singular style on this type of circuit. Sketch factor 100.
You got a guy with 45 wins in Will Power, holds the all-time record for IndyCar pole positions, making him, data-wise, the fastest guy in the history of this sport. Rasmussen with 1 win, but with tons of enthusiasm for putting himself right on the ragged edge in seeking his second win of his career.
Guys, I kind of like what 26 is doing right here. He's kind of looking in his mirrors and he's working with his spotter, Bobby Dalzell, to try to put his car where he knows the 21 likes to run. Take that air off his car, take his preferred line away.
But look at the car dance. Look at it dance in the dirty air. The little twitches, stepping out of position, but Rasmussen holds it exactly where he wants it. Dancing, a beautiful ballet, and moves to the inside.
Outside.
Oh, but Will Power saying, not right now.
And moves to the outside.
I cannot believe how well that car is handling when he crosses in that dirty air back towards the outside of the corner on Power. Rasmussen absolutely on rails right now.
I think if I was Will Power, Joey, I might think about starting to move up mid-corner and make it a little more difficult on Rasmussen. Power running all the way down at the apron, leaving a lot of clean air to the high side.
You see Will try to do the thing.
He's in the wall.
That's
Power
exactly
seemingly has damage. Rasmussen may not.
Power's got a flat.
Down.
Flat rear right for Will Power. Rasmussen somehow continues. Full course caution, and that was only a matter of time. Quite incredible and bitter disappointment for Will Power on such a strong run.
We saw it looked like a mark on the right rear from the wall. Was that Rasmussen getting into him?
Rasmussen got off the wall, but they must have touched there. Maybe Rasmussen's left front end fence cutting down Will Power's right rear tire.
That's what it looked like to me. You see Will here. He's trying to pull the fade on him, trying to put the dirty air on him. Rasmussen does a good job getting to his outside, and he's out there.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, just cuts the tire down immediately.
What happened was Will Power got rotation, so his right rear stepped out just a little bit. So similar to what we saw with Alex Palou and Rinus VeeKay at the start of this race.
And how strong is that front wing, again, to not break?
It was that second hit that cut Power's right rear tire. On board here with Power looking out the back.
Rasmussen goes high.
The corner, just one outside there. In line with you.
It's a pretty good hit to the wall, too, for Rasmussen. That could be a lot.
Let's hear what Rasmussen thought of it.
Keep up on me. I was on the outside. Something feels off, but I'm not sure what.
Something feels off. I'm not sure what. Big hit to the wall for Christian Rasmussen. Pits are open. Does anybody dive in, or will everybody stay out?
I can make an argument for fresh tires.
Certainly anybody
Newgarden.
outside the top 10, I would.
Pato O'Ward is in.
Newgarden is in.
Wow.
Rahal's in, McLaughlin's in, Rossi's in, but a fair few drivers stayed out. The ones that pit, they're going to have to work for it. This is not easy.
David Malukas and Kyle Kirkwood staying out on track as Pato O'Ward and the Arrow McLaren team service.
We are coming round to green. Rasmussen will lead away. The question is, how much damage is on that car? The top 8 are on old tires. Everyone from Pato O'Ward in 9th down has fresh tires. 33 to go. Let's go racing. Rasmussen leads. Kirkwood, Malukas, Dixon and Armstrong into turns 1 and 2 and already has a tiny gap as they fight over position.
Newgarden's trying to make some moves further back on Pato O'Ward. Here comes Armstrong around the outside of Dixon, right behind Malukas. Great move from the young Kiwi.
O'Ward looking very fast back there on fresh tires, but for Christian Rasmussen, a huge sigh of relief for him and his team. His race car is holding up, and it's still fast.
It's holding up so far. He was reporting that he could see damage to the car from inside the cockpit under caution, but he leads Kirkwood to the tune of half a second. 30 laps to go as Rosenquist gets swamped. Rossi on one side, Rahal on the other, but there's your race leader.
Buddy. Looks good.
Christian Rasmussen.
I think we're fine. That's the radio message from Rasmussen. And actually, I like what Kirkwood did on that restart. He gave him a little bit of a buffer. He didn't want to be anywhere near that machine if something gave out entering turn 1 at speed. But now he's got clear air, clean racetrack, and a wicked fast race car with 30 to go.
You want a wicked fast race car. Pato O'Ward on Santino Ferrucci, having a look up the inside at 4.
Side by side through the dog leg. Ferrucci's not going to give it up. We've seen he can be quick early on a stint if he's got new tires. I believe he is one of the drivers that came into pit. No, he isn't. Yes, he is. Sorry.
O'Ward makes it through, goes off after Dixon. Newgarden wants to get through.
It's so important to make time with these new tires while the field is close. The longer they run, the more separated they're going to get. You won't have time to get all the way to the lead. Only 28 laps to go. You got to make your money now.
Newgarden won this race in 2018, taking on the fresh tires at the last possible opportunity to take the victory. If he's going to do it today, he has to pass not just Ferrucci, not just Dixon, not just everyone up to Rasmussen, but critically O'Ward, who is ahead on track and has tires the same age as him.
This Expel on board. He doesn't want to see the back of that 14 anymore.
Oh, boy.
Ferrucci trying to go hard, but Joseph pulls the pass off.
That's about as close as you can get without crashing here at Phoenix. You couldn't put a piece of paper between the two of them as Alexander Rossi continues his march forward.
Nice comeback from the 20 after those issues on pit lane. McLaughlin now going to dispatch of Ferrucci as well, but it's this guy, Pato O'Ward, who's been on the move since the restart.
This is the guy who holds the potential win in his hands. Marcus Armstrong ahead on older tires. Pato with a good run.
It's all
really nice run.
All about timing on these short ovals, and it's always hard to know what the car in front is going to do. Sometimes they're going to go low. Sometimes they want to mess with you. They can just enter high, and if you're not expecting it, it can really catch you out and cost you a couple car lengths.
25 to go, and from being the driver, scything his way through the field and putting the moves on everybody, Rasmussen out ahead is just going to have to try and hold on now as O'Ward makes his way past Armstrong, makes it up to 4th. Next on his agenda, pole sitter David Malukas, who has got his way back up into the podium positions, but O'Ward in the McLaren with the fresher rubber will be hunting him down. We've seen Rasmussen be on the offense all day. How will he be when he has to play defense? Now is the moment as Newgarden sweeps past and underneath Pato O'Ward. The driver of the number 2 car for Roger Penske is coming.
He's got his teammate Malukas he's got to get to next, but again, we've talked about this before. He's one of the best, if not the best, at navigating traffic on these short ovals, and with that tire advantage, he could be in the mix here in a couple laps.
Well, that's the difference with Joseph Newgarden versus Pato O'Ward. Pato was just following Malukas. If you look at Joseph Newgarden, he's offsetting, he's getting the air. That's why he's making passes.
Way high.
Come right here.
Rasmussen way high. I think I was going to say Kirkwood had a run there, couldn't quite get it done as Newgarden does get around Malukas behind. Now, Kirkwood can't just look forward, he's got to look back too.
Oh, these guys have a big problem in that Joseph Newgarden is coming fast and has the perfect technique to come through these two Rasmussen and Kirkwood, like you said, Joey, moving around. Here comes Kirkwood.
Here comes Kirkwood, looking up the inside of Rasmussen. Can't find his way through, and as these two scrap over position, it'll be playing beautifully into the hands of Joseph Newgarden. Kirkwood now has the lead from Rasmussen, who will not want to let it go, but it's all eyes on the number 2. Newgarden has the tire, has the experience, has the knowledge, and has won before.
Just going to say, all of a sudden, Rasmussen's running in traffic for the first time as Newgarden gets by.
I mean, what Kirkwood needed was Rasmussen to hold up Newgarden for at least a lap or two. Now, Joseph's been unleashed. He can chase him down.
Rasmussen had not run in traffic since hitting the wall in the crash with Will Power earlier, so Newgarden with a big tire advantage, but just 7 laps at the line to get it done.
And Kirkwood has clean air still. They have not caught the back of the pack. That's not going to play in Joseph's hand, but he does have the superior car right now with the tires.
That steering wheel, that onboard of Joseph Newgarden, that thing looks so calm, so controlled. You watch the throttle, he's just using the throttle so carefully, balancing it through the mid-corner as Rasmussen's trying to hang on.
Here comes Newgarden on Kirkwood for the lead. Wonderful from Joseph Newgarden, delivers a knockout punch into the lead with 6 to go, and wouldn't you know it, back here in Phoenix, and it's Joseph Newgarden to the fore once again. The man who won here the last time we raced here in 2018. Joseph Newgarden, 6 to go, leads the race.
I love seeing Team Penske up front. Joseph Newgarden is just a true professional in everything he does, right? He's fast, he does everything on track right, but off track he does it right as well. It's cool to see him out front.
Well, what a day and what a drive. Celebrating 60 years at the forefront of international motorsport competition for Penske. Joseph Newgarden will deliver the victory in Phoenix.
Let's go. Let's go.
And after the misery that you went through last year, you've won 2 of the last 3 races now. Are you firmly back with this 2 team?
I'm just very surprised. I mean, look, it's only been a race since we haven't won, so it's not like it's been a while, but I just, in middle of the race, I don't know that I was fully believing that we had the capability to win. And we kept working through it, and I'm like, look, if we get another opportunity, we're going to be on the aggressive, we're going to be on the offense. We took tires, and the thing was like a rocket ship when it needed to be. It was right at the end of the race, so hats off to the whole crew. Expel back in victory lane. We had them in 2021, Team Chevy, so I'm pumped. I love to be here in Phoenix. I'm so happy we are here. This is, this is an IndyCar track. I think people that know the history of the sport know this is an IndyCar track, so to be here with NASCAR is fantastic, but we got to be here as well, and I love being here with this crew.
It's early going, but you're in the championship lead again. What does momentum mean?
Do we really have the lead? I mean, it's 2 races in, so I wouldn't read too much into it, but look, momentum's a big deal. I don't know. It's very difficult to understand how things work. Sometimes things go against us, sometimes they go for us. This was just great execution by the team. That's all. Simply as that. It was a good car, great execution. They won this race today.
Congrats. Win number 33 for Joseph Newgarden.